There are few characters in fiction that ever get to hold the title as strongest. Even when some do, they never truly make you believe that they are. There's a reason why characters like Batman, Superman, and Goku are as glazed as they are, because you can't tell them that they aren't the strongest whenever they're in the room, because if you do, they'll fucking show you why you're wrong. These characters are the main example, as whenever they're the main focus, they always display true dominance. And that same level of dominance can also be seen in Ben 10. Whether he's 10, 16, or 40, people don't call him one of the strongest characters in fiction for no reason, because when Ben remembers that he kinda can't be fucked with, you get some real disrespectful moments that honestly hurt more than when anyone else might do it, because Ben likes to talk a lot of shit. Shout out to Zepfire, as this idea came from his series of Never Lit videos. He also reacted to one of my videos and followed me on Twitter, so go show him some love. You know, the originator, he's the culture, as he always says. Before Ben even got iced out with the Omnitrix, his dog was already on full display. One of his first ever character moments literally sees him running up on Cash and JT to get them to stop bullying some other random kid. He of course does get folded, but this shows that Ben has that dog trait of never running from a fade. Ben was always on go in Classic, especially whenever the Omnitrix decided to bless him with forearms. Now, forearms is one of those aliens that whenever Ben turns into him, you can tell that Ben genuinely feels unfuckwittable. The first time we see him use forearms, he starts putting the hands on a reanimated mammoth and ends up swinging it like a damn Beyblade. Like, this is only his second time with the Omnitrix and he's moving like this. Then fast forward a season later, we see him start going at it with the God of Death. That's right, Ben fought the literal God of Death. And it's not like he stumbled into the fight on accident. No, Ben challenged him. You have to have some real gauchos on you to challenge the God of Death. And what's even crazier is that he wins. They end up having a quick squabble that ends in forearms, legit knocking him out. That's right, Ben knocks out the God of Death. Like, I know your favorite has never done anything like that. To be honest, I don't know what's crazier though, Ben beating the Mayan God of Death or like Max strangling the God of Death. I don't know, that Tennyson DNA might be up there with Kryptonian or Saiyan DNA. I just know Ben loved it whenever he got lined up against the circus freaks, because they were like the definition of fodder to him. That or Ben hated ghost freaks so much that when he possessed one of them, he saw it as an opportunity to cause some real harm, because he was treating Thumbskull like a crash test dummy. He started off the fight with a full-on command grab and turned him into a human wrecking ball, using to remodel the school courtyard. The funniest bit of this fight though is when Ben effortlessly knocks out Acid Breath and sends Thumbskull flying with one arm. Like, he genuinely does not like these niggas. Just take a look back at his first encounter with them when he handled all three of them as upgrade with a baseball machine. Getting taken down like this is more embarrassing than getting bitched by forearm, if you ask me. Frightwig honestly gets it the worst with how she gets like restraining her own hair after getting hit by 2 balls. Now, like that though, this is a kid show, y'all need to calm down. Now, of course, beating up on fodder isn't that impressive. I mean, if you're the strongest, that's what you should be doing. So let's take a look at some of his battle with his more known foes, like Kevin, for example. It did start off rough against Kevin, as Kevin was one of the first antagonists to really hand Ben that belt, as a lot of their fights were evenly matched. Ben did have a few moments that I know put fear into Kevin, like his clutch time takedown in their first encounter with forearms, and in their second encounter when he hit Diamond Head Kevin with the Bane back-breaking signature. Like, that's the type of shit that keeps you up at night. But once Ben got some true time with the Omnitrix, he started widening the gap between him and Kevin. Kevin had been trapped and ready to end his life in the episode Grudge Match, until Ben realized he had an ace up his sleeve with Cannonbolt, an alien Kevin had never seen. Cannonbolt had Kevin looking silly, punching the air and raging like he just saw his teammate instant-lock Black Widow. Meanwhile, Ben's over here bouncing all over the place, having a ball, putting Kevin through hell. In his first fight against Kevin in Alien Force, Kevin literally puts his entire fist through Ben's chest, but Ben realized that Swampfire is goated as fuck, damn near invincible, so he tanks Kevin's hit before scrambling his brains and swatting him like a damn fly. Then you got their next battle, which everyone loves talking about, you know, it's the fight with Ultimate Echo versus Ultimate Kevin, but people barely acknowledge the fact that it's kind of not even a fight. Kevin gets like 2 good blows in, but for the most part, it's just Echo using Kevin as a punching bag. The most damage Kevin does to Ben in this fight is with his words, and it just shows that when Ben stops messing around and locks in, he's above a lot of his opponents, even at their strongest. Him and Gwen literally got into a fight before he fought Kevin, and Ben tries his hardest to dip out on Gwen until she just kept provoking bro, and he just up way big on her and knocks her clean out. Like, my nigga, that's your own blood. Like, calm down, buddy. We know you're that guy, but calm down. Now, I would make a joke about, oh, he doesn't go this hard against Vilgax, but to be honest, I think Vilgax probably has gotten it the worst from Ben. Similar to Kevin, Vilgax was one of the first villains to absolutely put the brakes on Ben, but far worse. However, you gotta give Ben his praise, as he was not ducking Vilgax at all in secret. Even after he tossed Accelerate by his tail and put full-on cracks in the Diamond Head, Ben was not ducking the smoke at all. Like, if anyone else had that done to them, you would understand if they were hesitant to confront them again, especially if said villain who did that to you pulled up with your second top op. When Kevin and Vilgax came back to team up against Ben, it had me fearing for his life because I knew he wasn't gonna duck that fade, but I was praying he did. Luckily for Ben, he had access to master control in this episode, but even so, you have to be built extremely different to take on your two strongest enemies, one of them being the most feared man in the galaxy, and handing them straight belt. Vilgax got the upper hand on him in this episode, but then Ben breaks out of Vilgax's grab and decides to hit Kevin with a diamond hit two-piece nugget to start off this 1v2. Ben is reverse jumping the two characters who did him the worst, and he's breaking like no sweat. He's also doing all of this while trying to save Gwen and Max, which he successfully does. Then Max tries to tell Ben he can't beat both of them, and Ben's like, nigga, do you not know who I am? And low-key proceeds to like kick their ass, like dive bombs them as cannonball, and like even when he stupidly gets sucked into the no void with them, like seriously, your ego got the best of you there. Ben still shows that he's in control of the situation. And this is where we get that iconic scene of him entering the flow state, quickly changing to evade Vilgax along with a bunch of no guardians. From this point forward, Ben kind of just got used to disrespecting Vilgax. I mean, it got so bad that he was like hoeing him in his own dreams. I know this really doesn't count since it's Ben's dream, but I mean, Ben winding him up and sending him up to blow with his ship cracks me up all the time, bro. He thought he had the chance to kill two Bens after being revived. However, all it took was for future Ben to go human and start toying with him like if he was playing with his son. Ben 10K is out here treating his arch nemesis like he's a child in his human form. The disrespect, however, definitely peaked when Ben and Vilgax squared off for the first time in Alien Force. During this fight, Vilgax had the upper hand for majority of it. I mean, if he didn't, it would have been kind of embarrassing since he defeated 10 champions for the power to test Ben. Like, you better not get swept, buddy. But once Vilgax destroyed Chromostone, forcing Ben to turn into Diamond Head, he basically sealed his fate, as this is where Ben proceeded to put Vilgax in a touch of death combo. After he hit Vilgax with the "I've had a lot of practice with this one," Ben subjected him to a character destroying ass whooping. Ben was so confident in this fight when he got Diamond Head that he just started trying shit. Like, since when can you throw giant crystals at people, buddy?
That game I had in Boston, game 6, down 3-2, got to a point where I was just out there trying shit. One leg off the wrong foot, bump fades off my right shoulder. I'm not even a right shoulder bump fade guy.
The only thing Vilgax had to do in this fight was admit his own defeat. And this battle for Vilgax started a sad trend for him in Alien Force Season 3. His fall off in characterization wasn't enough. Ben just had to make sure he felt how hard he was washed. I mean, he kicked his ass in the season opener, but then you fast forward to the episode Primus, where Ben just embarrassing Vilgax again, hitting bro with a "stop hitting yourself" joke. To make things worse though, he then throws him into space again. Like, this man is for real going through a humiliation ritual. Hell, Vilgax at one point even asked Ben for his help. The most feared tyrant in the galaxy has come to ask Ben, his arch enemy, for help. Went from swearing to kill him to "please Ben, I need this." If that doesn't show you how hard Ben shifted the dynamic of power in this series, then I don't know what will. You really started to see why everyone started throwing Ben's name into the strongest of all time talks once you watch Alien Force and Ultimate Alien. I mentioned how you can tell that certain aliens bring out Ben's unfuckwittable personality, classic series forearms being the first, for example. Well, that same personality is shown to be present in many other aliens. Take a look at Swampfire, for example. I mean, he climbs out of being sucked out of the no void and then takes down Manny with one attack and demands they stop fighting and talk, which Helen quickly agrees to. Just that simple display of dominance dissolved this entire situation. He has another similar moment where he walked through iron bars and decided to blitz all the incursion soldiers and 7-7, all with the most nonchalant demeanor. One single punch and it has 7-7 crying and running. But it doesn't just stop at Swampfire though, as more aliens bring out this personality in Ben, such as Chromostone when he went against Cash. He took an entire laser straight to the chest and didn't even dare to break his superhero pose. Even after he got tossed into a truck, he shrugged it all off and gave Cash that finger wag, and when a character hits that on you, you just know you're finished. Chromostone's whole energy here just screams, "I ain't worried about you, little bro," and it's completely justified. I mean, he made Cash submit and surrender without even throwing a punch. Now, I've been hopping around to show you instances of Ben knowing he's truly that guy, but if you ever want a full episode of it, then look no further than the episode Above and Beyond. This episode episode is notorious to fans because it's the episode where Ben pretends to be evil as a test for the plumber's helpers. The helpers find this out and Alan gives the most real ass reaction to the situation.
Who needs help? It's 4 against 1.
It's 4 against Ben.
They are terrified of getting reverse jumped. Instead, Ben just happens to attack them one-on-one. This entire episode is just an excuse for the team to glaze and throw Ben aura lobs. Yuri Lowenthal here is using his Sasuke voice along with dropping cliche villain dialogue.
You can run, but you can't hide.
But the best part is how they gave this episode the vibe of a horror movie. From the score used here and Ben literally jump scaring Alan. The funniest jump scare though is when he does the FNAF 2 Foxy impression on Pierce. Ben's approach to this entire situation shows you that he knows he leaps above the plumber's helpers, so he chooses to have fun with this entire training exercise. Yet even so, he doesn't take it easy on them, especially on Manny. These two get into a cage match of sorts, but instead of transforming immediately like he does against the other helpers, he instead decides to play around with Manny in his human form. And might I remind you, Manny is a Tetraman, one of the strongest species in the Ben 10 universe. The disrespect doesn't stop there though, because it gets a lot worse when Ben decides to go rad and proceeds to put Manny in a domain expansion of apoplexy and wrestling. Ben hits Manny with a 50-foot power drive that gets him put into a high-speed armbar, all finished off by a leg spike off the map on some Smash Bros shit. Shit gets even funnier at the end of the episode where Ben just goes full kaiju monster as Humongosaur, just deciding to completely fuck up the base just because he can. The helpers do end up sending him out into outer space though, that he just, casually comes back from when Max decides to end their training experiment. All this shit happens in like a 22-minute episode and it's like one of the most fun episodes in the show. In fact, it kind of makes me sad that Omniverse doesn't do anything similar or even continue to let Ben flex his own power in certain situations. I mean, it does happen a few times, like Ben saying fucking and using Alien X against the Rooters. In that dope ass brainstorm scene, we see him plan out his attack plan against the bootleg evil Avengers. These scenes are like two sides of the same coin. With Ben using Alien X versus the Rooters, it's him showing that he doesn't really have to deal with like the back and forth of these battles, and he can take control of shit whenever he wants. The only thing preventing him from doing so is really just his morals of not abusing the power of Alien X. But when he uses it, oh boy. Bro turns into Alien X and Gwen and Rook immediately duck for cover like they're retreating from an atomic bomb was just set off.
Sounds like a war zone.
Ben has control of Alien X.
Offer Ben just to treat this entire encounter like it's an RPG game and have the Rooters attack each other like it's a game of Pokemon. The brainstorm scene though might beat this scene out when it comes to pure disrespect. Contrasting the Alien X scene, this moment shows that while Ben has tons of powerful transformation, he doesn't even really have to use his stronger ones to handle some of his foes. He tells the bootleg Avengers basically verbatim that any of his aliens are strong enough to outmatch them combined, and he backs his shit talking up. As Brainstorm, Ben analyzes his surroundings and uses his knowledge to form an entire plan of attack that, would you know it, lands up with that 100% success rate. He takes out 3 decently strong street tier characters without breaking a sweat, literally using everything to his advantage, even a damn apple core to take out Kangaroo Commando. It just shows that he has mastered the art of reverse jumping. That scene is arguably the hardest in the later half of Omniverse, and definitely one of the coolest moments for an alien whose ideal usage isn't even for combat. Further showing that when Ben locks in, there's virtually no one who can match up to him no matter what alien he decides to use. Unfortunately, those are the only examples I can think of for Omniverse, at least off the top of my head, which sucks because Omniverse is when Ben is probably at his most braggadocious. And these moments of dominance over his opponents is what gives that braggadocious part of his personality real weight, because to be honest, Ben isn't as flashy in battle as someone like Goku. I mean, you don't see him standing on a nigga head mid-battle, nor is he as relentlessly imposing as Superman when he's battling someone like Darkseid. Ben, however, is the type of character who shit talks and can back it up, which is something he does religiously. He always talks about how he saved the universe and brags about how he's defeated some of the most dangerous people in the galaxy. And like, yeah, he has. There's a moment where he lists off all the times he's beaten Vilgax straight to his face. And while it becomes one of the most annoying character traits for him, you can't say the kid isn't speaking facts. And in the same way that I found it annoying, I also kind of find it cool as hell. People who fight Ben probably take a harder hit mentally than they do physically, because you got to deal with this snarky ass, cocky ass kid dusting your ass and then it being added to his stacked legacy. And I feel like that's such an underrated component of Ben's character. When Ben remembers that he's a legend, like legitimately, and is as strong as everyone claims he is, that boy will either subject you to a one-on-one ass beating or end things so fast no one will even remember you even had screen time. With there being so many disrespectful moments in Ben 10, a lot of them from Ben himself, I would love to hear which one is your guys' favorite down in the comments below. But that'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like on the video. Remember to hype it if you're on mobile, and also subscribe if you're new to the channel. I'm trying to push for 100k subs this year. This video may be on the shorter side and also less in-depth than my other videos, and it's really because I wanted to give you guys a video before I went and worked on my next few videos that are gonna take a lot more work out of me, and I also like not been feeling the best, so I didn't have time. But nonetheless, I hope you'll appreciate this video and enjoy my upcoming ones. But until then, it's been your boy Dan, the boy wonder, signing out. Peace.